How's it going, everybody? Savvier saying, what is good to all my Super Saiyan homies here to bring you all sorts of Dragon Ball content. If you enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. That being said, today what we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be doing, as you guys can see, a joint showcase for the boy Hit, who I have at 7 stars, was able to pull 2 copies of him on the banner, and then did the missions. We're going to run him on Rival Universe, and then we're going to run the blue reviving Goku, who I was originally running on an all Goku team, which you guys will see that for the first match, because that was actually a really, really good match. Went for quite some time, and I was just playing really, really sloppy. Kudos to my opponent on that one. But I ended up switching him into God Key at the end of the day because I just was kind of finding that the units I was running were just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of not my cup of tea, not my style. I wanted to switch over to where I feel he is probably more comfortable, you know, with the God Key squad, and I even have him being Zenkai buff because I think at the end of the day most people are going to want to run him with the Zenkai buff. I will talk about more of that in a second because we're going to do post commentary discussing their place in the meta over the 2 matches I have for each of them. I will see you guys in a second. So this was that longer match I was talking about. This is the first match that I ran him in. Like I said, I was running him in on all Goku team. So I have the Future Ku and I have Kid Goku right here. Right off the bat, we're kind of just, you know, we're kind of duking around a little bit. And I have to say, again, this was the first time I used him at all. So you guys are going to kind of see him a little bit hesitant with him. I tried to bait out some type of cover change there because a lot of people tend to just go for the strike cover anyway. This way they can, you know, disrupt and then they can switch into like the unit with type advantage. So I ended up dropping combo there. It didn't end up working out in my favor. But this is kind of where we start to see the blue Goku here. And at this point, he does not have any Zenkai buffs. He's only being run, you know, as is because I was actually running UI, and I wanted to as my purple, and so I always Zenkai buff UI. I don't think I don't ever run UI without Zenkai buffs, as did clearly this guy right here. You know, he's got him buffed as well. So we're actually able to win a clash for once in my miserable life. And it, honestly, like, you guys will get to see. Actually, no, you don't. I forgot that he cover changed here. Because I was gonna say he actually puts up some decent damage. And I think that's the one thing I really appreciate about this guy compared to the red reviving cell is that he is not a completely different unit before and after transformation. Like pre-transformation cell is hot doo-doo poo-poo. Like even at 14 stars, which I have him at, he doesn't do anything. You know, it's I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. He just isn't very useful pre-transformation other than to tank a rising rush, and a lot of people really know how to play around that these days. Now, granted, I know that I'm not necessarily the greatest player of all time. Like, for example, this play right there. Like, I should have clearly went for the strike card, and had I done commentary, you would have heard me gone like, oh shit, like, because I knew. But that's just like, I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I think what's really interesting about this guy, and I also went to switch there. I don't know if you guys saw the tap. I had to go back and watch several times, but my thumb like hit between blue Goku and Kid Goku, so I actually missed out on getting the revival sub, but it didn't matter because I was able to guess the rush anyway. And then he's gonna try and full screen ult me, which is just like, no, don't do that. Yes, I should have been a little more patient there, and that was the one thing I was actually finding this whole video recording, is that my patience has just really been lacking a lot. I'm sure you guys will notice that a little bit throughout the other matches as well. I'm kind of like PV fishing, which you shouldn't do. This green card is really, really oppressive. I think that might be one of the best things about him, truth be told, is just that green card alone is like, it's so solid. I mean, I personally, I don't know. I feel like it's a little less punishing than UI's is. I mean, yes, you get out of it the same way as UI, but it just seems like it has. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot to offer from it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I shouldn't feel like that, you know, because in reality, like, UI's heals and everything. But at this point, we get to see the revival for the first time. And truth be told, it really is obnoxious because it's just like, again, he acts like a regular unit pre-transformation. We screw that up because I went for the sidestep there. But anywho, and it does cost us our kid Goku at the end of the day. Well, actually, no, it didn't. I didn't remember that. Because I do forget that, after a while, like, Gogeta doesn't ignore cover change anymore, and we're definitely at that point. But I want to say that this is just a sign of how Future Ku did not necessarily age. He's at 14 stars. He has type advantage over a non-Zenkai boosted Gogeta Blue, and he's just, with his main damage dealing stat, is just not doing the damage that he needs. But, it is what it is. It's neither here nor there. It's not his showcase, and that's not what we're here to talk about. It ends up working out in our favor, and we get this lovely little forfeit screen right here. I really like this one. It's being added to the collection, even though I missed it when recording. But anyway, let's move on to the next match. So after kind of going in with Revival Ku for a few matches, I wasn't really finding that I liked running him with the All Goku team. So I decided to switch into just Hit with Rival Universe, especially because I was hearing really good things online about him. And I have to say that you're not going to see it at first because, Tapo and really Champa actually are going to steal the show for just a little bit. But I still think that this match is a really good showing for Hit and what he's able to do. Because I had said it on Twitter. One of the things that's really, really cool about running Champa and Hit together is that, like, they basically just ignore type advantage, considering that Champa gets rid of it with his main, or nullifies with his main, rather. And then you have Hit, who just really doesn't care at all. Like, so right there, that ends up working out. I ended up going for the green. It baits him out. He ends up going for the heal, and all of a sudden, his My Trunks are in, so it just kind of ends up being a little song and dance that ends up working out. But right there, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He's got the priority, no problems whatsoever, and he's doing a great amount of damage. So at this point, we're able to switch in Tapo, and again, Justice Potato is just going to kind of steal the show for a second. Because truth be told, having that lock-in ult is still one of the best things in the world. And granted, I know that this guy, was pre-transformed and everything, but I still say he's one of the better aged units in the game. Now, this is a stat-maxed Rage Trunks, keep in mind. And he's going to be able to take out Champa no problem, at this point. I was thinking between Strike and Blast because I figured it was going to be one of the basic two. I ended up choosing Strike. It ends up costing us in the long run, but that's okay because truth be told, this is where Hit really starts to go off. Like I said, I think the thing about Hit that a lot of people have really been saying is just like his crit damage like really does not care about your feelings at all whatsoever. Like, yes, we dropped the combo there. Oh no. Big deal. And yes, that strike alone is not doing a lot of damage, but we're going to up the crit rate a little bit. You're going to see he's going to start doing just a nice little bit of chip damage right there. And we're going to fire off the ult and just to experiment a little bit because he's at about 50% HP. And so this was just kind of me seeing, how he could do against like a rather tanky unit. And he does really, really well. Like he brings him into the red to about 20%. We're able to get him with another strike just down to a very deadly point. And it sounds like we even got a crit on the finisher. We'll talk a little more about him in the next match. So right here we have a far better example of Hit going off and doing his thing. We've got up against a weird mix of Zenkai Sun family, and the Gogeta's there, and we're not really sure why the Kid Trunks is there, but it's still a very threatening team, because even that Gogeta, he's stat maxed and everything like that. He's still getting a good amount of, Z abilities and whatnot. Not that he brought them or anything, but, it's still a kind of scary team. I'm not sure if maybe the Gohan was there, or sorry, the Trunks was there to give Gohan just like a slight buff or something, but I'm not really sure why the Gogeta's there. Anyway, we're able to catch him here with Bergadmo, which I don't want to hear anybody disrespect on him either. The two of them are able to kind of steal this showcase a little bit. We're able to get him with that Vanish, and then right here, we're gonna set him up. We're gonna set him up for some really nice failure. So this is gonna bring the opportunity for him to bring in Gohan. We're gonna fire off the ult from Bergamo, and because everybody's still alive, it does a pretty decent amount of damage. This is the best unit in the game, and so to do the damage that it did is I would say pretty impressive. Personally, that may be just me, but I think it's pretty solid. Right there, we're able to get a nice little priority with Tapo just from kind of drifting a little bit. And the lock-in is going to come in handy to get the most pesky unit on his team out of the way. Now, after this is where, again, I think Hit is really going to kind of shine a little bit. Because I think one of the things to consider about Hit, it's something to really consider about every single Hit in the game, is his ability to nullify endurance on literally everything he does. Because that's what he's going to do right here. I think this dude had brought in the Kid Goku with the intention of tanking through the ult and surviving, but he forgot, you know, that Hit nullifies on everything. He's going to be able to get a small tap in there, but I really think that that's part of why Hit can really be put up in the conversations, because his crit damage is absolutely insane, but B, when you have little things like that going down, when he's able to nullify endurance and just catch your opponent off guard, you can really turn the tides of battle no problem. So at the end of the day, I think the most important question is, and what people would probably be asking is, where do these guys rank on a tier list? I would go so far as to say that the reviving Goku, solely because of his color, really kind of gets stuck, somewhere low tier 1, top of tier 2. I think he's really suffering from the same problem that LF Rose does. Because just like LF Rose, he's good. He's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I think, like I said before, the best thing about him is that he doesn't feel like a completely different unit before and after transformation. Cell prior to transformation is really just a rush bait, and it kind of sucks because like there are some times where you have to just kind of take your priorities with him, and he's not going to do much damage. Whereas this Goku, yes, he's a defense type, so he's not putting up the best damage. He's actually going to put up some respectable numbers. He's got his green card that does a really good job of gaining priority, if you need to, just kind of like the purple UI Goku green card. Because I think, I don't know, I think despite people being able to really play around it a lot these days, people kind of knowing how to play around it for the most part, it's a pretty good, it's still a pretty good green card. And the revival mechanic, despite only coming back at 50%, works out just fine. Because, if you're running him on, if you're running him on Saiyans, he's got the Angel Vegeta, who we're currently facing. Or if you're running him on God Ki, you have Vados, and they're going to kind of heal him up a little bit, like even after the revival. So, I think it works out pretty well for him. Kind of, again, like slotting him, somewhere either low tier 1, high tier 2, but I would say low tier 1 is really the fair spot for him. Now, as for our good friend Hit, I would argue that Hit is really high S tier, and I would even make a case that he's kind of up there with Goku Black. He doesn't care about type advantage at all whatsoever. His crit damage is insane. Being able to nullify endurance on everything, only a handful of units in the game have that. His ult just hits like a truck. I mean, honestly, I could foresee this Hit, being a nuisance for quite some time. And he's a purple-red buffer too, so you can even run him on color counter teams if you really wanted to. Yeah, so that being said, I'd put him up there. I wouldn't put him up higher. I think I would put him on the same level as DKP. I don't think I would put him with Goku Black and I don't think I would put him with Goku Black and Cell, but I would definitely put him with DKP. Anyway, that's it for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.